My stepdad hid my acceptance letter, so I crashed his retirement party with my diploma. Throwaway because my mom still pretends the story didn't happen like that. Okay, Susan. I, 29F, didn't find out until years later that my stepdad, let's call him Frank the dream killer, deliberately hid my college acceptance letter. I grew up with a single mom who married Frank when I was around 12. He was the rules over hugs type, not abusive, but cold. I was a quiet kid, and we butted heads often. Frank thought feelings were weakness, books were a waste of time, and college was a scam. Every time I mentioned wanting to go to university, he'd roll his eyes and said, waste of money. When I applied to a state university senior year, with help from my favorite English teacher, I told him I did it. He just shrugged and said, don't get your hopes up. Weeks passed, I assumed I got rejected. No email, no letter, just silence. I cried in my room for a week, then gave up. I started working retail, moved out, thought maybe Frank was right. Years later, I was cleaning out my mom's attic and found a dusty box labeled old mail. Inside, my unopened university acceptance letter, dated 2 months before the college's deadline. I just stood there shaking. It was like every bitter moment of self-doubt had a name now. Frank. I confronted my mom. She went pale, said he must have forgotten. Right. The man who sorts his socks by color just forgot a college envelope with my name on it. Nope, he hid it. And that was the day I made a choice. I was going to college. I enrolled in community college the next semester. Took night classes, transferred after 2 years, worked full-time. It was brutal, but I was fueled by spite and Red Bull. 5 years later, I earned my bachelor's degree with honors. My diploma came in the mail, and I held it like a trophy. Around that time, I get a call from my cousin. Did you hear? Frank's retirement barbecue is next weekend. Mom says it's huge, everyone's invited. Was I invited? Nope. Did that stop me? Hell no. Frank was mid-toast in a Hawaiian shirt and cargo shorts, basking in everyone's praise and beer. I waited until he finished his long-winded speech about hard work and building your own path. And then I walked up to the mic. People stared. Someone whispered, is that? Yup, it was me. Hi everyone, sorry to crash. I wasn't technically invited, but I figured now's a good time to share a story about our guest of honor. Frank's face drained of color. I pulled the diploma from my tote bag like a damn sword. You see, when I was 17, I got accepted to college. But Frank here decided I didn't need to know that. He hid my letter, said college was a waste of time. People gasped, like actual gasp. So I found out years later and I went anyway. Paid for it myself, worked 2 jobs, and today, surprise, I'm a graduate. Thanks for the motivation, Frank. Couldn't have done it without your total lack of faith. Frank turned purple. My uncle spilled his beer. My grandma clapped. I walked out before he could speak. Left him there with a cold burger and decades of awkward silence. Mom called later. She said, you humiliated him. I answered, good, he earned it. Frank never apologized. He tried to clarify later with a text that started, you misunderstood my intentions. I didn't respond. I framed my diploma and hung it where I see it every morning. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. He tried to bury my future. I built it anyway and made sure he had to look at it. Some people get a cake at their retirement party. Frank got karma.